Okay, on the second part of the video, we will discuss following the first one. For these equations, basically expressing the complete analytical solution. If we solve this PDE, we can get the analytical solutions for the whole problem in terms of the infinite series. But in this case, we are only interested in solving or getting the limiting expression that is valid for a short contact times for a small values of L divided by Vmax. So these equations in here can be simplified into the equations in here, where we basically neglect this term in here. So Vmax multiplied by the del Ca over del Z will be equal to dAb multiplied by del square Ca divided by del x squares. And the boundary conditions are still the same for the first one. At Z equals 0, Ca equals 0. At x equals 0, Ca equals Ca naught. However, at x equal infinite, basically, Ca equals 0. So the only thing that are different is beside the form of the equation that is absent in terms of this particular dependence of x. It's also one of the boundary condition, which is the boundary condition 3, that can be replaced by that x equal infinite at Ca equal 0. And this partial differential equations can be solved by defining several dimensional variables, which we call method of combination of variables. So if we do this by expressing the Ca over Ca naught, that this one is dimensionless concentrations, and then del Ca over del of this becomes Ca naught. Okay, and then this particular variables is a lump of the x and z in here. Okay, so these variables in here, x and z, are lumped into one dimensionless variable, since your dimensionless concentration is a dimensionless function. Okay, then if we do that, we can simplify this problem. Okay, let's start first with the derivations of this with respect to x. So that will be 1 over 4 dAb z divided by Vmax, and then your E in here can be written in terms of these variables, 4 dAb divided by Vmax multiplied by z raised to minus half. So your del E over del z will be equal to minus half x divided by root square of 4 dAb divided by Vmax multiplied by z. Okay, then this will be z raised to minus 3 divided by 2, half x divided by 4 dAb Vmax z. Then now we go back into this these equations again. Okay, I use a different color to indicate we are doing a different equation. and we use a chain rule. This will be equal to DAB Vmax del X del per del CA over del. You need to see that in here, this form in here is particularly equal to this form in here, because this form in here is equal 1, this form in here is equal 1. Okay, and then this one also equal to 1, this one also equal to 1, and this one also equal to 1. Okay, so that's very important for you to 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 make sure that you understand this. And then this particular term in here is coming from your del CA, this one CA naught. Okay, your CA naught multiplied by this minus half X divided by 4 DAB Vmax Z. Okay, the second term in here will be equal to this term in here, and then this term in here will be this term in here, right? Okay, and we keep on continuing your DAB divided by Vmax 1 over 4 DAB Z divided by Vmax del per del I CA naught this one is multiplied by 1 over 4 DAB Z divided by Vmax. Okay, what you can see in here is that this term in here is given by this term in here, right? That we put in here, this term, and same we have one more in here. Then we can cross the same term, for example the CA naught, and then what else again we can solve in here. These two cross against this 4. Oh no, I make a mistake in here. This 4 can be crossed across this 4 in here, right? And then this 4 in here can be crossed across this 2 in here. And then what else again? DAB in here with the DAB in here, DAB in here, Vmax in here. If we continue that, you need to look into try to derive this whole process yourself to check everything. 2 multiplied by Z divided by 4 DAB Z. This one is Vmax multiplied by Z, and then this one can be crossed with this one, and then you will have minus 2 x divided by the root square of 4d abz v max is equal minus 2, and this one basically equal to your dimensionless variables where you have lumped this x and z into a single variables. And what follows is just we arrange the terms accordingly. Here we change this sign into this sign because now you only have one independent variables instead of two independent variables. Right, then we can define next that these variables in here equal to this derivative of the dimensionless concentration with respect to the dimensionless independent variables. And this will be equal to minus 2. Then we can integrate this ln this equal minus k1, and we can take k1 is equal ln c1 plus ln c1. So then you can remove this c1 into the left hand side. This will be equal to this, and then lump these two together using a logarithmic natural identity. So that this will be equal to e minus okay, then we can convert back these variables back into the original definitions in here. If we do that, then we'll get this divided by will be equal to c1 e then we can integrate this. So now our dimensionless concentrations will be equal to plus C2. Or we can write it as such that the C1 can be taken out of your derivative. Plus C2. Okay, so your original dimensional variables come up as an upper limit of the integrations, and this 2 in here is defined as a as a different variables. What you can convert now is your BC1 and BC3. If you put in either BC1 or BC2, then they should give the same result. Okay, and then if you put BC2, this will be equal to 0, 1. Okay, you may want to go and look back into your original boundary conditions. So at z equals 0, okay, then your CA equal 0. So when your z equals 0, then these variables in here will be infinite. And same like BC3. If your x equal infinite, then your CA will be equal to 0. And so your dimensionless variables will be equal to 0. So BC1 and BC3 give you the same result with respect to the dimensionless concentrations. On the BC2, if you put your x equals 0, then your CA is equal CA naught. So the method of combination of variables can be used for a symmetric boundary condition. Then I think I will stop this video in here. We will continue the solutions on the substitutions of the BC1 and BC3 on the next video. Thank you for listening.